And now, the adventures of High and Hyper.
Oh man, do you think the music scene is really dead?
Well, at the very least, it's really bad mixed messaging. Yeah, really, really bad mixed messaging.
Sure looks at least haunted, man.
What was that, a ghost?
Live from Animated Studio 6A in the dead music capital of the world, Austin, Texas, it's the Damn Tonight Show with tonight's guests, Roger Blevins Jr. and Ray Prim. Now here's your host who has trouble making out where exactly the line is, Colin McDonald.
Hello and welcome to Daily Austin Music. My name is Colin McDonald, and this is the Damn Tonight Show season finale. Now, what does that mean? It means I'm going to stop doing cartoon Tonight shows for a while because it's a lot of work and I'm kind of bored with it. So enjoy. Let's jump into the headlines. Now, first up, sadly, another iconic Austin venue has closed for good. Rest in peace, Shady Grove. Look, nobody said this was going to be easy. And other news, Austin live music is back. A bunch of musicians did what musicians do, and they made it work. Now, look, there's no way anybody made any money, and sure, it's not a sustainable model, but so yeah, it's exactly like the old model. But according to Cody Cowan, live music is dead. What? What about the drive-in concert? What about all these live streams? What about neighborhood concerts that promote safe distance? Nope. Live music is dead. No instruments make sound anymore, and all the PAs have been replaced by hand sanitizing stations. Cowan posted this on Facebook last week, citing survey data collected by the RRCD and the MVA indicating that live music is quote-unquote dead. A couple days later, we got this gem from the Austin Monitor writer Chad Switek. Red River pushes for $35 million to purchase venue properties. They identified 54 primary music venues as defined by the MVA and estimate that $2 million a month is needed to keep those businesses afloat until they can reopen. Which, wait, what? 35 million? Oh, they want to buy the property. Not subsidize or help with unemployed workers or, God forbid, talk musician living wage. No. Let's purchase some real estate. That solves everything in Austin, right? It's like you've never seen a con before. So remember, folks, when someone asks for your voice, make sure you know what they're going to say with it. All these nonprofits and all these advocacy groups say they want to help musicians. Well, they might just be out for venues, which might just be out for the land grab, which might be funded by land grabbers. Well, I ain't for trickle-down economics, and I, for one, ain't for the way things used to be. Let the old model die. This is only the beginning of what's to come. And if you thought Napster was bad for the music industry, well, if it was bad for you, this is going to be worse. Time to adjust, innovate, and stop begging for money. We're about to lose the infrastructure that our music business has been crucified on for the last century. Be free, little birdie. Wherever you land is your new home. It's all yours. And as for the $35 million, they'll get it. Or something close. Because, hell, they already manipulated voting blocks to approve a $1 billion convention center that was just a proof of a concept. So here's your prediction for the summer. More venues will close, Batman will buy some property, and people will want to charge you money for very, very silly things. Don't do it. Also, Facebook, as well as Spotify, YouTube, and all other forms of social media are optional. They are not required for you to live. Please remember that. We'll be right back after this short message with Roger Blevins Jr.
Austin Music Television on Channel 16 is made possible by Support Austin Music. Support Austin Music is a cooperative of Austin-based musicians and their supporters creating compilations of music videos for airing on Austin Public Channel 16. The music videos are compiled into hour-long episodes and are aired weekly. Check your cable provider for the specific channel, and Austin Public Access Channel 16 live feed is available on the website for those of you who are unable to get it on your television. Support Austin Music Television. Support Austin Music. Welcome back to the Damn Tonight Show. I am lucky enough to be here with the Roger Blevins Jr. Many of you may know him from Mingo Fish Trap. And man, I actually saw Mingo way back in 2007 when I first moved to Austin, down at the 1-to-1 bar back when it was still on Fifth Street.
Damn, wow,
and I've just been a fan ever since, and I'm so grateful you're on the show. And what I want to jump into right off the bat is your new single, Sugar Coated, is the first single as just Roger Blevins Jr., right? Like without the Mingo Fish Trap. This is your first solo single.
Ever.
Has this all been recorded since, the quarantine and all that?
No, man, honestly, and I know know a lot of these folks, but I got years ago, kind of hooked up with Ray Prim and Tom Meany and a lot of these singer-songwriter folks in town, and they invited me to be, Ray, I think, was the first one that invited me to be a member of his songwriting group. And for anybody listening that might not know this, we basically write a song a week. You have a prompt that goes out. Everybody writes with that same prompt, usually a couple words. And it's just kind of a peer pressure thing where, you're essentially, it just keeps you writing, which is, it can be tough to do when that's not what you're getting paid to do on a regular basis. And man, I've got 250 or so songs, that ones that I actually like. There's a bunch more than that I hate, but they've never seen the light of day. But even though, you could, but anyway, I've got that may be high, but it's well over 100 tunes that I would probably release. And so when this stuff started, and I did my first little thing. I'm trying to do every other Wednesday because every week is too much in my mug. But so we did a little video with a friend of ours' daughter had sent me a video of her playing. And so I synced it all video wise, sent it to all my guys. And we did, we kind of did a little band thing of her playing this Elton John song. And that was sweet, and it was lovely, and people seemed to like it. So I was like, man, well, let's try to do something every week, but it's really tough to do the Mingo thing for many reasons every week. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to release something on my own name. I'm just going to have to do it. It's always been an excuse not to not do it. There's always been that little guy on your shoulder going, you need to wait because you need to be able to capitalize on touring and this and that and the other thing. And now it's like the Wild West, man. Like I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I do care. And maybe I'll look back in, 2 years and be like, man, I should have waited. Because I'm not doing this through our label. We're just putting it out, just putting it into the world. Right. And, not that we've ever been hugely successful, but like having the last Mingo thing that we did be on a great label with a great, team, there's a big difference between who you can reach. Even if you have a 250,000 people on Instagram or Facebook, there's still a big difference in terms of how many people you reach. So, but I just at this point, I think it's more important if we only have a couple hundred people that are going to tune in, and so far it's ridiculous. I don't even understand how we have this. Maybe we have anyway, it's great. And I want to make sure that they have something to look forward to. And I love it. I love creating that for that moment. So to answer your question, sorry, that tune, Sugar Coated, I wrote probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and had the demo. I mean, I had a lot of that stuff that's in the release was the demo, and then you go back. That's kind of the new way now. You go back and you fix the stuff that's not quite up to par, and edit. And since I didn't do a video or anything for that, that's pretty much just where it came from. And when I went through all these tunes that I kind of had on deck to release, whether it was Mingo stuff or my stuff, I kind of wanted to release something that was pretty different, musically speaking, just to make it kind of a distinction, I guess. What's going to become apparent is that there's no rhyme or reason, because that's a fairly pop tune. Like, it's pretty, fairly kind of produced kind of a thing. And then we released a Mingo thing last week, which is still not up on Apple Music because that stuff is taking so long. But we released a video called Got Mo Better, and it's like a Keb Mo, almost country-ish thing, which is way different. And then the one that I'm releasing this week will be under my name, and it's like a Sam Cooke kind of feeling thing. And then so it's a crapshoot. I don't even know, because we have a lot more funky stuff, and we got some banging stuff, but I just don't know, man. And I'm trying to release stuff that's positive and that will give just give a bit of a distraction and a bit of levity, for, like, we have a lot of friends who are nurses, man. You get off that shift and they need some distraction. I'm all about being aware and being informed, but it's easy to get wrapped up in the dark side of it all, man. And again, not trying to make light of it, but you have to make a decision. You make a decision, okay, because like I got a wife, and everybody, even if you're sitting at home alone, you got friends who, even if you don't realize it, depend on you, right? I mean, you are responsible not just for yourself, but you influence other people and what their state of mental health is. Yeah. And I just, I want to take that as seriously as I take, being informed. So,
right.
Yeah. So anyway, it was, I'd say it was like 75% done, and then I just went back and did did all the
little
made all the
fixes.
crappy parts not quite as crappy, and mixed it and put it out.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, and it's so different now putting a song out. Kind of, what are your plans going forward? What kind of opportunities do you see going forward? If this thing kind of stays the way it is for now.
Well, dude, think about every avenue that we have, with a few exceptions, but they're all fueled by advertising. And I'm not suggesting that this is good or bad. I'm just suggesting it's the way it is.
Yeah.
There is a real possibility, if you can cultivate, even just a decent following, that you can actually be sponsored, by somebody, which has never been an option for a local or regional or even a small national act, man. Right. Like, you spend all your time trying to get Miller Lite to give you a free 12-pack and put a sticker on the side of your van or something. I've had people reach out to my little, and actually so far it hasn't been to advertise, but it's been some great local businesses that are helping specifically with live streams. And that's awesome, and they'll get some love because people that are watching like the fact that they're supporting local music. But there's a lot of screen space, man. There are a lot of options, and what are you going to do? Like if it's not an option to go play live, then you have a choice to make as a musician. You have to make a choice. You're like, okay, I have to give this up, but I got to do something else, or I can find something in between, or I can find a way to try to make this worth somebody's while. I mean, maybe you have to do all of those things. I don't know, but it's too early to tell. But I can, because right now I think it's, there's a lot of empathy, and that's awesome. And people are chipping in the pile because they feel sorry. Yeah. And I don't want that to be the case, but it is. And, man, there's value in it, man. I've watched shows that have been awesome. They weren't just, I can't go outside. There's the shows that I would have gone inside without this, that never would have happened before. I mean, there's been a lot of them that way, and it's not the same, but I do think that I think it's going to be, eventually it will become a good thing for the independent musician or somebody that's kind of in that realm. It will be a good something to have in your trick bag.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have walked people through setting up there. I've walked literally a dozen people through like getting their stuff straight to be able to live stream. And now if we go back to a thing, they can do that online. They can do that for a real gig at a real show and have people giving them $5, $10, whatever from Switzerland. I really do think that, it's worth, I think it's worth every musician's time. And even if they're not singer-songwriters, even if they're instrumentalists, to really get a grip on this stuff now while you have nothing else to do except for worry or try to go for unemployment or whatever. I mean, those are all real things, but we all have some time. I mean, everybody's got time right now. Or not everybody, but if you're not on the front lines. And, I'm like, man, you take advantage of where we are right now, because I really do think, for me personally, I think it's going to spill over into what hopefully will become a little bit more of a regular life. I really do, because it's not something I ever considered doing ever. Not once. I never before 6 weeks ago, whenever it was, never did a live stream. I don't think I ever went live on Facebook at all. Right. None of it. And I didn't realize, I think no matter what your reach is, like no matter what level you're on as a musician or an individual or a teacher or whatever, what I never really realized, and this probably gets into the nitty gritty, like algorithms and all that stuff, at how much of that, what percentage of folks within that, whatever that metric is, that you can reach when you go live. It is by far the thing that Facebook favors the most right now.
Besides giving them money.
That's right, and I've given them money ply. I mean, it's part of what you have to do. But I'll say this, and I can only speak for my pages on there. But like I'll spend all this time and I'll do a great little produced video thing and whatever the thing is that I'm doing, graphic, whatever it is, I'll spend money to pimp it out. Whatever, it doesn't even come close to touching. So at this point, I'm doing live broadcast to pimp my live broadcasts. I've been the last 2 weeks, man. I've gotten on.
That's smart.
You know, because we're like by the second, I'm reading Reach 24 hours later. That's my read on the reach of that broadcast, because there's a lot of folks that join later and they don't get counted as your live thing. But my reach so far on 24 hours out is between 20 and 30,000, right, on these live broadcasts.
Right.
I couldn't pay to get that many people to see a graphic. I couldn't pay within my metric.
Right.
So when I got on, last week on Monday to pimp my Wednesday show, and I'm just like literally I play one song and I'm just joking around, pretty much having a conversation like we are now, reading the comments, talking to people that come on, and I'm looking up and I'm like, by the time I get finished with the thing, it's 5,000. 24 hours later, that ad had seen 15,000, for the thing. So and I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what that was going to be like. So I'm just trying to take advantage of all these things so that we can reach the people that already have an interest in what we do, and then hopefully grow that. But yeah, man.
Oh, man, you're doing a fantastic job. Be sure to tune in to Roger Blevins. Check him out. We'll have all the links down below. Thank you so much for being on the show, man.
It's my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
We will be right back after these messages with Ray Prim.
The CobraCast podcast with Bobby Sharon is a must-listen in the Austin music community. With over 280 episodes so far, you can tune in to hear Austin musicians and the like share their stories and their music every Monday and Thursday live at 7:30. Check this one out anywhere you get your podcasts, as well as Facebook and YouTube Live.
Welcome back to the Damn Tonight Show. I'm here with Ray Prim. Now, Ray, I first kind of really got paying attention to you back when you started the promotions thing that honestly worked so well that people started copying without giving you credit.
I'm telling you, that's still left and right, man. You know what makes me the worst part is when people go, oh my God, somebody else would do it. And they're like, oh my God, it's a genius idea. And I'll sit back and watch the interaction, see if there's going to be any like, oh, well, Ray Prim did that. Nothing. They just take thank you. It's like, man, oh, hell no. I have to interject, man. Like, he ain't come up with that shit. That was me.
Right.
Came up with that. And I came up with the idea because Tina explained to me how the algorithms work.
Right.
I was like, in order for me to get around these algorithms, I have to do something. And how do you make a long post without it being boring?
Right.
So I had to start lying. Like, that's why I got a promotion line. Half that shit didn't happen to me. Like, everybody's like, did that really happen? Did you see a squirrel get up and shake its head? No. I saw a squirrel. Like I would. It's crazy how these things come up. Like I would see a dead squirrel, and then my mind would just go, "Oh, what if that squirrel was taking a nap in the middle of the road because he drank too much the night before?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I would tie all that in together, and then I said, if only he had come to my show, he wouldn't have. Maybe he came to my show. Or he was thinking about coming to my show and couldn't make it, so he went out the night before. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, and I started, and then I can't really say that it helped with the numbers. I have no proof. I just know that it started being to the point where people would just want to. It kind of backfired me. Same thing when I made those. Remember when? I don't know if you knew me back then, but when I used to make those penny videos, my dog talking.
Yeah.
I go from one idea to another idea, and then it got to a point where I was making those penny videos, and I don't even think people were listening to the show, whether to see if I was going to have a show or not. And people would come up to me in Target, is like, "Are you Ray Prim?" And I was like, "Yes." Somebody finally noticed me in this stupid ass time. Next thing you know, I would tell your dog, I love your dog. Please tell your dog I said what's up.
Oh, God.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Y'all know that's me, right? I'm the dog. I'm the voice. So I stopped that whole thing. That's how petty I am. I stopped the whole. I was like, nah, she ain't stealing my shine. So I stopped it.
Yeah, well, like even before that, you've been involved with songwriting groups for a really long time, right? And you started.
I've been in several songwriting groups. Bob Schneider started it. I got in Bob Schneider's, and then, but Bob kept going year round. Like Bob he didn't at the point. He's like, he didn't stop. And I was like, I can't keep writing songs and then not do anything with them. So then I started one. I said, well, we're just gonna do a year. And then Tom Meany was like, man, I can't do a year. I was like, I want to break it up into semesters. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Right. And so we brainstormed, and then he was really the main person behind it. But it wouldn't happen if I ain't gonna lie to you. Tom can say whatever. It wouldn't happen if I wasn't part of it. I mean, there's people that have ideas, and there's people that make those ideas happen. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So he had an idea, and I went through and made it happen. Next thing you know, he gets all the glory. But it's So Writers University is Tom's idea, and it's my love and hard work.
Now, speaking of love and hard work, you've transitioned now into doing your show, which I absolutely love. Tell me everything about that and how it came to be and where you're going moving that forward.
So so first of all, I wanted to do, because I can't stand playing live online. I really don't like it. Like that's not my thing. I mean, I've gotten a couple of people ask me to do some things, and I'm really a band guy. You know what I mean? I was like, I write my songs for bands. I mean, I write my stuff knowing that there's going to be a band around me. And I did a Zoom interview, and I just wasn't feeling it. They wanted me to play and stuff like that. I didn't want it like the way it sounded. And so what can I do to keep busy? Because I have to be creative, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing acapella videos. That was cool. But I would send those out and I send out to the ladies, and I'll probably not get that video back for like a week and a half by the time they all do their parts. So I was like, and I saw Roger Blevins doing this thing. He did this thing called OBS system. And so I was like, okay, let me go in there. And I was like, and I started off, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go in here. And I have so many videos of us playing and videos that I've made. I said, I'm just going to go in there and play my videos. But I was like, well, what if I run out of videos, and who knows how long this is going to last? So then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I always wanted to be, I thought about my MTV days. I always wanted to be a VJ.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe I can just be a VJ and play other people's music. But I was like, well, but will people send me their MP4s? I was like, I don't know if people will send them to me. So I tested it out, and they started sending it to me. I was like, and then I was like, shit, more people started sending it, and people started hitting me up. I'm booked all the way to July. And then I was like, okay, then I was like doing with the interview thing, I can't sustain that, because I'm about to start mixing some people's stuff. My album, I got to finish Erica's album. I've got to do some other stuff. So after this weekend, it'll probably be the last weekend I do interviews for a while. I may pick certain bands that I really want to talk to or something like that. Not that I don't want to talk to everybody, but I can't do it. Like last weekend, I spent the whole Saturday waiting for people, getting online, you know what I mean? And Sunday doing the same thing. And my weekends, I mean, I just can't be doing that all weekend. So when I do the show, I think somebody else said something like, they like me and Baby C's banter. So when we do that, we take all that out. It's like, it's just me in the beginning, and then this long lull of just videos and a conversation, and then us at the end. So I'm gonna do it like I first said, and I want to be in and out. I don't want to be sitting up here after, from 7 to 7:30. I just want to do 15 minutes. So I'm gonna do because I've already had all these interviews ready. So the next 2 weeks we'll have interviews. But after this weekend, I'm done doing the interview part. I'm just gonna play some music. Me and Baby C talk about that song, what we liked about it. Hopefully we do like it. That's another thing. That's another thing. I don't want to listen to the videos. I don't even want to watch them. I want to be like, take it in as I do, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So a couple times the videos were longer than I thought they were. I was like, damn. It's like I guess I should have looked at this. One video was like 7 minutes long. I was like, shit. And I got 2 of them and an interview. I was like, oh hell. But it's okay. It's all good. But yeah, that's what I like. Like I think with Eric Tessimer, I think he's got a song, but his manager told me. So I'm only playing his one song. His just like 8 minutes long. But I was like, well, it's only gonna be one song. But yeah, that's how I did. So that's how I got into it. I was like, man, I just wanted to. And then I was like, there's a lot of, and once I get through the regulars, that everybody knows, you people, all the people know. Then I'm gonna start looking for bands that I'm gonna start looking online and start looking. And I'm like in July or August, I'm only gonna do twice a week. So I'm just gonna find bands that I like, and it's gonna be, hey, Ray's new find. You need to check out this band. See awesome. What There's also a lot of bands I hit up that I still ain't got their videos back. It's like, that's another thing, chasing bands down. I mean, I ain't gonna say no names, but some of y'all still ain't answering my damn thing. That make no sense. I mean, it don't make no sense, man. I'm telling you.
I know. It's like, man, I'm trying to do something for you. Like, this is going to benefit you.
It's crazy, man. It really is crazy.
Anytime you see people shouting out other people in the same industry, the vouch you give for somebody else means more than some random person saying they're great. You know what I mean? Like, because of that community and the relationships that we all have. And I love everything you're doing lately. And
thank you.
I hope you keep it up. As far as we go, I hope you don't have to, but if we do, then this is it's a good way to get some Ray Prim in your life. You know what I mean? If you can't see you live. I
told him, I was like, if I told Baby C, if I honestly don't think I can't see this going back to normal until 2021 personally, but let's say it does go back to normal. I'm still going to do once a week because it's self-serving as far as me. Because I mean, this is how I looked at it. It's like before this pandemic started, that thing only had 300 and some people in there. I started a whole group because I noticed that in a group, a private group, that anytime you post something, it sends a message out to the people in the group because they subscribe to that group, right? Mm-hmm. So they subscribe to it. So if I post something, it sends out, Ray just posted and such, right? I don't have to worry about alligator rhythms and all Zuckerberg all up in my shit. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing that. And I got that idea from Jackie Vincent. And Jackie's got like 7,000 people in hers. You know, every time Jackie posts something in there, I get a message. You just got to make sure you don't post all the time, right? So anyway, I told Shane, I was like, well, here's what I'll do. You know, if this all goes back down, I'll still have my find of the week. Like I said, the band that I like, say where they're playing that week. And if I happen to be playing too, you know, while they're there in that 15 minutes, it's like, hey, by the way, I'm down promotion. This is called Promotion Lives and Videotapes. Check me out this Friday. Such. I've already promoted to, you know, that many people. Yeah. And I'm only doing local artists for right now. Right. So those local people normally invite local people that live here. So I'm just got my, you know what I'm saying? This is one big circle thing. So
Ray, I don't want to take up too much time. Thank you, sir, for being on this. And thank you for doing what you do and just keep it up. And everybody go back and listen to Ray Prim, watch Ray Prim, and man, just thank you. Thank you for being on the show, dude.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate you, man.
We'll be right back after this message.
Austin Uncharted is a live studio performance series featuring Austin bands and musicians recorded and filmed at King Electric Recording Studio. Featuring artists like Trouble in the Streets, Aubrey Hayes, Lowen, Jake Lloyd, and so many more. Watch a session and check it out. New bands every 3 weeks, Thursday at midnight, and you can follow their page and be the first to see what's coming up next.